Tonight on Capitol Hill, a fiery exchange is raising serious questions about the role of the military on American streets. If you value clear breakdowns of major political moments like this, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the context behind the headlines.
As a gentleman from California, Mr. Carbajal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It shouldn't come as no surprise that I have serious concerns with both the deployment of the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles. I served in the Marine Corps. We are trained to be war fighters, not for crowd control. Everyone here should be alarmed that the President has sent armed forces into a city against the wishes of a governor and mayor. I am concerned this administration is purposely escalating the situation with this step and politicizing our armed forces in the process. Let's call it for what it is. It's political theater. Hegseth, are the Marines in Los Angeles ordered to protect property by any means necessary?
Sir, I would say the ICE officers and police officers being attacked is not political theater. The National Guard and Marines,
just yes or no. Just yes or no.
The National Guard and Marines have the full authority to protect federal ICE agents.
Yes or no.
Federal buildings.
Can you just say yes or no? This isn't Fox anymore. Just yes or no.
They're there to protect federal agents and federal.
Another BS answer. Under the SRUF, the use of force, are Marines allowed to fire warning shots?
No.
Now that's more like it. Isn't that easy? Well, I'm going to beat this drum because you refuse to take responsibility. Will you take responsibility for having made a mistake? Not to mention, many people would say break the law in participating in the Signal group chat that included a journalist, your wife, your brother, where classified information was shared.
Sir, every way I communicate is authorized. Every way I communicate.
Okay, if you want to say that. I have called for your resignation. I didn't think you were qualified before your confirmation, and you have done nothing to inspire confidence in your ability to lead competently. You broke the law in sharing classified information, and in doing so, endangered the lives of our service members that you are responsible for. Your inability to hold yourself accountable makes you incapable to lead. This alone makes you unfit to be the Secretary of Defense. Secretary, do you think the United States should continue supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russia, a nation that is hostile towards the United States?
Well, as you know, sir, President Trump is committed to peace.
No, I just want yes or no answers.
Today, the United States has spent billions of dollars.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Over years.
Just yes or no. Can I get a yes or no out of you?
We continue to send.
Come on.
Presidential drawdown.
It's that easy. Kindergartners can give me a yes or no. Yes or no.
Yes, we support peace in Ukraine.
Come on. Is this really leadership? You're an embarrassment to the United States. If Russia invades NATO allies, are you going to recommend to the president that we fulfill our Article 5 obligations?
Well, Russia has not invaded NATO allies.
No.
President Trump has
No. I reclaim my time. Yes or no? It's that simple.
There's Article 5 in NATO, which we recognize.
So is the answer yes or no?
That's what Article 5 is, yes.
Good. I'm glad you brought yourself to saying yes. Do you think political allegiance to Trump is a requirement for serving our nation, either in uniform or a civilian in the department?
I'm incredibly proud, as are millions of Americans.
No. Not today, Hegseth. Yes or no?
Congressman, you know what a silly question that is.
But it's silly enough to warrant a very straightforward answer. Yes or no?
We all support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
You know what?
I'm
not going to waste my time anymore. You're not worthy of my attention or my questions. You're an embarrassment to this country. You're unfit to lead. And there's been bipartisan members of Congress that have called for your resignation. You should just get the hell out and let somebody competently lead this department.
Mr. Chairman, do we not have any decorum in here?
Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Gentleman yields back. And I would urge everybody to remember and maintain a decorum suitable for this chamber with their further comments.
During a tense hearing, Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth faced sharp questioning from California Congressman Salud Carbajal over the deployment of armed forces to Los Angeles. And what unfolded was more than just political back and forth. It exposed a deeper debate about the limits of presidential power, the mission of the military, and the rules governing the use of force inside the United States. The confrontation centered on the decision to deploy both the National Guard and active duty Marines to Los Angeles amid unrest tied to federal immigration enforcement operations. Congressman Carbajal, a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, did not mince words. He reminded the room that Marines are trained as warfighters, not as crowd control units. That distinction matters. The military is designed to defeat foreign enemies, not to police American communities. When troops appear on city streets, especially against the objections of local leaders, it raises constitutional and historical concerns that go back generations. In American history, the use of federal troops domestically has always been controversial. From the civil rights era to the protests of the late 20th century, presidents have occasionally invoked their authority to deploy forces when they argue that state authorities cannot or will not maintain order. The legal framework often cited in these situations is the Insurrection Act, a law that allows the president to deploy troops under specific circumstances. But even when legal authority exists, the political and ethical implications remain deeply debated. During the hearing, Carbajal accused the administration of escalating tensions and politicizing the armed forces. He characterized the deployment as political theater, suggesting it was designed more for optics than for operational necessity. Hegseth pushed back, arguing that federal agents, specifically officers from U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, were being attacked and required protection. In his framing, the mission was not about suppressing protests, but about safeguarding federal personnel and property. This distinction is critical. Protecting federal agents is a narrower objective than general crowd control. However, when heavily armed troops are visibly present, the line between protection and policing can blur in the public's perception. That perception can either calm a volatile situation or inflame it further, depending on how communities interpret the show of force. One of the most important moments came when Carbajal pressed Hegseth about the rules governing the troops, specifically the standing rules for the use of force. These rules determine when and how service members may apply force in domestic operations. When asked whether Marines could fire warning shots, Hegseth answered no. That answer tells us something significant. It indicates that the mission parameters are tightly controlled and that escalation options are limited. Warning shots, while sometimes seen as a de-escalation tactic in combat zones, can pose serious risks in civilian environments. Prohibiting them reflects an attempt to reduce the chance of unintended harm. But the broader question remains. Should active duty Marines be placed in situations where such rules even need to be discussed on American soil? Critics argue that involving combat-trained forces in civilian unrest risks normalizing military presence in political disputes. Supporters counter that when federal agents face credible threats, the government has a responsibility to protect them with whatever resources are necessary. There's also a structural issue at play. The National Guard typically operates under state authority unless federalized. Governors traditionally control Guard deployments within their states. When federal authorities intervene despite local objections, it shifts the balance of power between Washington and state governments. That tension was clearly visible in this hearing.